This is 3 News Daily.
Hello everyone, welcome back to 3 News Daily on this Thursday, June 1st. I'm Stephanie Haney here with what matters most to you in Northeast Ohio. And we start this afternoon with developing news from a deadly shooting that happened overnight here in Cleveland. Shots were fired at around 11:30 last night near East 123rd Street and St. Clair Avenue. Cleveland police say 4 people were shot while hanging out in that area, and officials tell us a 31-year-old woman has died. 2 other women were taken to the University Hospital in critical condition, and 1 man was taken there in serious condition. So far, no one has been arrested tied to this attack. Now in Akron, an escaped inmate is back behind bars. Police say Jason Conrad was being taken to a doctor's appointment this week when he managed to kick off his medical boot and run off into the woods. Investigators say Conrad was recognized by a worker at McDonald's. It was while he was riding a bike through the drive-thru to try to buy a burger yesterday. Conrad made it about 5.5 miles from where he escaped before he was taken back into custody. Meanwhile, we are learning new details about a fiery crash in University Heights that killed 2 people over the weekend. The driver of one of the cars involved has now been charged with crimes. Here's Lena Lai with what police say they learned about his role in the crash.
The crash, horrific. The charred shells of 2 cars stacked on top of each other, the remains of an explosive impact and resulting fire that killed 2 people.
It's like a bomb went off. It's just boom.
When we spoke to witness Robert Hairston right after the crash in University Heights on Saturday, he explained what he saw.
There's only one person that got out them 2 cars. And he was busted up and we dragged him from the car over to my neighbor's yard.
University Heights police announced 19-year-old Khalil Johnson of South Euclid is now charged with 2 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide. Police say Johnson was said to be an alleged pedestrian injured in the crash and was helped by Good Samaritans, but Hairston knew otherwise.
I was trying to help the guy that got out the car, but see, he was the one that caused the accident.
This Ring doorbell video from a nearby home shows just how fast one of the cars was going. Seconds later, out of frame, the deadly impact.
I'm no radar detector, but that looked like it was moving pretty fast. And since that deadly crash, police have identified the victims as 20-year-old Marlon Emery and 57-year-old John Nelson. The driver's case is now headed to a Cuyahoga County grand jury. Right now, he's being held in the Solon jail on a $200,000 bond. Now, yet another suspect in a story we've been following has been arrested. The person accused of shooting and killing a man in what police are calling a road rage case is now in custody. Investigators say 30-year-old Dakari Kennard was arrested in Columbus yesterday. He's accused of shooting 40-year-old George Jensen on I-76 in Norton on May 17th. The arrest was handled by several agencies, including Norton Police, the Northern Ohio Violent Fugitive Task Force, and the U.S. Marshal's Office. We don't yet know the date or time set for his arraignment. Now, we have confirmation from Cedar Point that a piece of tire tread fell from one of its roller coasters this week. A photo circulated on social media on Monday saying a large piece of red and blue debris was near the Corkscrew roller coaster. Well, the Ohio Department of Agriculture reached out to Cedar Point on Wednesday and got confirmation that yes, debris did come from the Corkscrew. As far as we know, no injuries have been reported related to this. But remember, 2 years ago, a metal object flew off of Cedar Point's Top Thrill dragster and severely injured a Michigan woman. The ride has been out of commission since that happened in August of 2021. There was an investigation by the Ohio Department of Agriculture that determined the park didn't violate any laws. And now construction has already started on an updated version of the Top Thrill dragster. That's expected to open in 2024. All right, let's talk national politics now. The U.S. House of Representatives voted Wednesday to suspend the debt ceiling for now, just days before the U.S. government would be expected to run out of money to pay its bills. So this legislation passed with support from both Democrats and Republicans. The deal was made by President Joe Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. So it will cap some government spending over the next 2 years. And for now, there'll be no debt ceiling. The debt ceiling is suspended. And then beyond next year's election, that $31.4 trillion U.S. debt ceiling, that'll go up at that time. So now this goes to the Senate, where it is expected to be approved. Now, in Ohio politics, a new lawsuit has been filed with the Ohio Supreme Court. This was filed on Tuesday from a group called One Person, One Vote, and this is about the proposed language for the August 8th special election. This is for Issue 1, which, if passed, would make it harder for voters to change our Constitution. So the group is arguing the language that they want to put on that ballot is too vague. It doesn't tell people what they're voting for. And the lawsuit also brings up how more direct and clear language has been used in the past. Now, to give you a quick summary, what this would do is it would raise the threshold from a simple majority, 50% plus one, to 60% for voters to pass a constitutional amendment. But it doesn't say that in the language. It just talks about elevating the standard, which is very unclear from a legal perspective. I'll get into more of the details about their argument at 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. today. That'll be in a Legally Speaking segment, so hang out with us on TV for that if you're able to. Now in Cleveland, City Council held a special meeting yesterday and approved a number of projects using American Rescue Plan Act funding. This includes money for the Irishtown Bend Stabilization and Park project. So this will be a new urban park overlooking the Cuyahoga River and the downtown skyline from the city's west side. They've also approved reinvigorated Cleveland's southeast side, and this is a big one. Creating that land bridge to connect Mall C and City Hall to the lakefront. This is where Cleveland Browns Stadium is, in that area. Also providing money for the Euclid Creek Greenway. Big moves coming from Cleveland City Council. Now here's exciting news for Cleveland. Forbes magazine has selected Cleveland as one of the first 10 cities ever to get local versions of its famous 30 under 30 list. Now before now, they were on national list, but now Cleveland will have honorees under 30 in several categories. So the big categories are business, art and culture, food, retail, entertainment, impact, and technology, and there's subcategories underneath those big categories. The nominations are open now through 11:59 p.m. on June 9th. We've got all the criteria on WKYC.com, along with a link to get those nominations in. Very cool for our city, just one of 10 around the country. All right, let's talk about your money now. A big price hike starts today for First Energy and AEP electricity customers. First Energy says bills could double, and AEP says prices will go up 30%. Now, customers who get their electricity through an alternate supplier like NOPEC will not be affected. We've got information on how you can make that switch and save yourself some money, along with other resources, and those are linked at WKYC.com. Now this morning, cadets from the 38th class of the Cleveland Fire Training Academy showcased everything they've learned in a live fire drill. Now they used an empty house that was donated by the Cuyahoga County Land Bank for this practice run. This is one of the last things they have to do before they graduate from the academy, and that's on June 16th. Next week, they'll take the official test to become state certified firefighters. Thank them so much for doing that. What a great thing. All right, before we go, one senior at Padua Franciscan High School was sick, so sick that she missed her graduation last week. And you can imagine how devastating that would be. That's a major milestone in life. Well, Jessica Collum says it was just 2 days before graduation when she came down with the flu. She did her best to get well, but she was too sick to make it. She also said she didn't want to pass anything to anyone else, very thoughtful. So her principal, teachers, and the president of Padua showed up at her home to hand deliver her diploma.
Told her they were going outside to take graduation pictures, and we were all standing out there waiting. And so I got to see the visual as she came to the door and saw us for the first time, and she just lit up with emotion. It was really a beautiful moment.
I was just absolutely heartwarmed, and I was just in tears. I was just really, really amazed to see everyone. I really thank you. I really am thankful for this happening to me and my family. This is definitely one graduation that I will never forget.
Absolutely, that's an incredible moment. And Padua's motto is never alone. Jessica says that's exactly how her school made her feel. I think that is just so wonderful that they came out and did that to make that individual student feel so special. And what a great way to jumpstart the rest of her life, knowing that she's loved and supported in her community. Good on you, Padua. All right, thanks for being with us for today's edition of 3 News Daily. That's actually going to wrap it up for us for the week. So have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday with more of your top stories from Northeast Ohio.